Hi, I'm Morah Rachel the librarian, and I am reading to you Hannah's Hanukkah Hiccups by Shanna Silva, illustrated by Bob McMahon. As you can see, she has a lot of hiccups. It was almost Hanukkah. Some folks in the brownstone on Hester Street polished their menorahs, fried potato latkes, or wrapped gifts. Others cleaned their apartments, played the piano, or napped. In apartment 4H, Hannah Hope Hartman was rehearsing a song for her religious school's Hanukkah program. She'd been practicing for weeks. As she sang, she spun her dreidel across the floor, watching it settle under the table. When she crouched to grab it, she erupted in hiccups. She marched into the den, hiccuping with each step. "I have the hiccups," she giggled. "Try holding your breath," her brother Henry suggested. Hannah took a deep breath, puffing out her cheeks. "Boo!" Henry shouted, startling her. But her hiccups continued. The next day, Hannah was still hiccuping. She tried to ignore her hiccups. When Henry made silly faces, Hannah shrieked with laughter, making her hiccup even more. Hannah's neighbors heard her hiccups through the building's thin walls. "Drink pickle juice backward," Mr. Taylor called up the stairs from the creaky fourth step. "Okay, Mr. Taylor," Hannah called, still laughing. She poured a glass of kosher dill juice and slurped from the far side of the glass. Hannah frowned. But on the third day of Hanukkah, Hannah was still hiccuping as she sat in the doctor's exam room. Oh wait, we missed a page. I'm going back. Later, Hannah's family lit the menorah for the first night of Hanukkah. Hannah hiccuped through the blessings. "I can't believe I'm still hiccuping. It's not so funny anymore." "What about my solo?" Hannah asked. Her puppy Babka whimpered at her side. On the second night of Hanukkah, Mom said, "Don't worry, your show is still 7 days away. Your hiccups will be gone." But on the third day of Hanukkah, Hannah was still hiccuping as she sat in the doctor's exam room. "What's wrong, Hannah?" Dr. Silver asked. "I can't stop hiccuping," Hannah answered. Dr. Silver listened to Hannah's heartbeat. He tapped her knee with a small hammer. He shined a light into her ears. "Hannah, you have the hiccups," Dr. Silver announced. No!" Hannah exclaimed. Dr. Silver pulled a paper bag from his lab coat pocket and passed it to Hannah. "Breathe into the bag," he said. The bag crinkled as Hannah inhaled and exhaled. For a moment, she was quiet, but only for a moment. "Hic! What should I do?" Hannah asked. "It will stop eventually. Try not to worry," he advised. Hannah hiccuped the whole way home. On the fourth day of Hanukkah, Senora Rivera knocked on the Hartman's door. "Hannah, querida, in Mexico, we chase away una taca de hippos with this," she said. "Stick it between your eyes." Hannah placed a wet red string on her forehead. "I feel silly," Hannah said. Henry giggled. Together they counted to 10 in Spanish. "Thanks. Anyway," Hannah said, as Senora Rivera pulled the door closed behind her. "Mom, I can't sing with these hiccups." "I'm sure they'll go away," Mom said, squeezing her hand. But Hannah wasn't sure. She practiced her solo. "I won't sing unless my hiccups go away," Hannah announced, stomping to her bedroom. She hiccuped through the night, even in her dreams. Wow, that is a lot of hiccups. On the fifth day of Hanukkah, Amar from the second floor brought cardamom cookies with ginger ale. Hannah nibbled on a cookie and passed one to Henry. "Hic!" Everyone sighed. On the sixth night of Hanukkah, the kids grated potatoes and onions for latkes. While Mom fried the latkes, Hannah and Henry spooned applesauce and sour cream into bowls. Hannah's hiccups echoed like noisy crickets. In the apartment below, Mrs. Morella thumped on her ceiling. "Try peanut butter!" she shouted into her chandelier. "I'll try anything," Hannah thought. She slathered her latkes with peanut butter. "Yuck," Henry said. Hannah grimaced as she placed a forkful of peanut butter latke into her mouth. She hiccuped louder. "What am I going to do?" Hannah asked, sighing. Babka hid behind the drapes. Mom sat with her head in her hands. Henry finished everyone's latkes. On the 7th night of her hiccuping Hanukkah, Hannah was so worried about her solo that she couldn't enjoy opening her gifts. Even Henry's silly faces didn't make her smile. She snuggled Babka as she hiccuped through the night. The next morning, their neighbor Mrs. Dukas brought Hannah pomegranate juice with mint. Though she didn't expect it to work, Hannah sipped away. Hic! She hugged Mrs. Dukas when she left. Hannah sank into the couch with Babka, frowning. Everyone will laugh at me if I sing with hiccups. I've tried everything. Maybe no one will notice, Henry said. Hannah rolled her eyes. Your school is counting on you, Hannah. You have to try, Dad said. Fine. Hannah trudged into her room to dress for the show with Babka at her heels. She pulled her favorite sparkly dress over her head, still hiccuping. Babka crawled under her desk, barking. Hannah hiccuped as she brushed her hair. Babka howled. Are you stuck again, Babka? She bent to help him, and then Hannah had an idea. She decided she'd perform hiccups or no hiccups. Do you see what she found in her closet? Tap shoes. Later, Hannah wrung her hands as she waited backstage. The music began, and she tiptoed to center stage. The audience giggled. Hannah grinned. She took a deep breath, started singing, and tapped across the stage. No one heard Hannah's hiccups over the sound of her tapping toes and heels. She spun like a dreidel, finishing her dance with a great tapping shuffle across the page. Across the stage! Of course, I'm reading the pages. Well, that was a little slip there. Everyone clapped and cheered, and Hannah grinned as she took a hiccuping bow. That night at home, Hannah's family invited their neighbors to join their Hanukkah celebration. The neighbors gathered close as Hannah lit the menorah, and Henry recited the blessings. As the candles glowed and flickered, Hannah hiccuped one last, loud, long Hanukkah hiccup. And then her hiccups stopped. Finally, Hannah said, clapping her hands. I hope that never happens again. Me too, said Henry, giggling. Next time you'll probably get the Sukkot sneezes. And that is the end of Hannah's Hanukkah hiccups. I hope you have a happy Hanukkah that is hiccup